Hi there and welcome to UE Gems. Today we are going to discuss positive thinking does not work, but what does? So, bit of a disruptive in the fact that recently we have done a poll which showed that 71% of you actually believe that positive thinking works. 25% of you felt that it worked sometimes, and only 5% felt it didn't work at all. So it's quite a bold statement to say positive thinking doesn't work. Well, it doesn't. So I know that 71% of you out there that believe positive thinking works will be jumping up and down going, "What are you talking about, Max? Of course it does. I'm proof, I've done it." So in a way, you're all correct, because it seems like positive thinking works sometimes. It feels like positive thinking doesn't work, and it also feels that it does. So what's the real truth about all of this? Well, first of all, we've been sold a dummy on this. It's not positive thinking that works, okay? Because I want to ask you all a question. I want you to answer it honestly from your heart. I'm not looking for you to try and disprove what I've said and prove what you said. In the ladder of leadership, control and judgment is one side of the ladder. The other side of the ladder is blame and victim. So right in the middle is leading me. So I want you to master your ego, come into the middle and just answer a question for me. That question is there times when you think positively and it doesn't work? Is there times when you think positively and it does not work? Now, if you're honest and truthful, the answer is yes, that does happen, which means positive thinking doesn't work. But there is something that does work, and it is to do with positivity. So hang on in there and I'll explain that. So I have been asked by someone out there, and thank you very much for the question, to help them and give them a bit of advice. And it falls beautifully in with this concept of positive thinking and the fact that it seems to work a bit, but not fully always. The question was, can you give me some advice as a manager of 12 people who are going through lots and lots and lots of change at the moment? It's unsettling people, it's making people really frustrated. And as a manager of people, that person has done their best and their damnedest to put out a positive vibe for the whole thing. Now, that's really difficult under any situation, let alone a situation that's throwing lots and lots of change in the mix, because the majority of people don't really like change. So when we get it, it disrupts the whole being of us. So firstly, well done in observing and becoming very aware of the fact that I've got to stay positive for others, because in leading me terms, people follow you. It's not that you're really leading, it's they're following. So by you putting out a positive vibe out there for them and speaking in positive terms for them, that will help. That will definitely help. If you reframe things positively for them, that will help, okay? So you're holding the space for them, but the real question was how tiring, exhausting that is. And anyone and everyone who's been in this situation knows exactly what it's like. So they were asking, what help do I have for them? So I'm going to go back in time when I was managing people. And firstly, 12 people to manage. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was times when I've managed hundreds of people, but I have people who are managing others below that. Doing 12 people, the research shows that a group of 8 is optimum. So when you're pushing that, you're pushing yourself and the teams are being pushed, okay? So one, be aware of that you're going to need more time for you. Secondly, the awareness around it is wonderful, and the awareness around you feeling exhausted and what do you need is also absolutely brilliant. So I will tackle a couple of things on this in what to do for yourself and how to deal with that, okay? So, firstly, awareness is ultimate. Without it, we can be spurting out all sorts of things. We can be negative without even realising we're being negative. So the awareness is absolutely fabulous. That also brings you back into leading me, okay? When it comes to what you do next and how you go about it, there's something I'm going to put it at the bottom of this. It's a free webinar that I have, and I'm going to put that at the bottom for you to go and look at. For any one of you, but particularly the person who's asking this. It just helps. It's called Silencing Your Inner Critic. But it's your inner critic that gets in the way, but it's also really there for limiting beliefs. And this is where positive thinking can get eroded with limiting beliefs. So the first thing we have to do is recognise. So that awareness is wonderful, and that's good you've got that. Secondly, what we do have to do is we need to go to that reward centre, the heart centre of reward. This is the bit that all clients got. They would try and skip it, let's just say. And I'd say to them, no, it's not a thing you skip, okay? Because without that, to be honest, it's useless to you, because you're trying to move from a negative feel to a positive think, and that doesn't work, okay? And we've proved that. Sometimes it'll work and sometimes it doesn't, but there's a reason for that, and I'll explain it. So we have to go to the heart centre. We've got to go to reward. And the way that I do that is I go to my happy place. So you need to find a happy place for yourself. That could be it needs to invoke real emotion of love or fun. And I mean belly laugh fun. Mine's happens to be, it's on YouTube actually, but there's a clip from a Scottish show, comedy show, and it's two Scottish guys in an elevator trying to get to floor 11. And being Scottish, they're in a voice activated elevator, so it always makes me laugh out loud, belly laugh. Every time I think about it, the smile comes to the face and it is just hilarious. I bloody love it, right? That's what it's got to be. It's got to be something that really makes you go there. Or love, the firstborn child, as a lot of clients have said, the love that invokes, it's the feeling, right? Because if we don't get to the feeling of love or fun, then it ain't gonna work. Because positive thinking doesn't work until you employ the turbocharger of positive feel, okay? So positive feeling works, but positive thinking doesn't. So there's no point me trying to think positively, because I am not going to believe that. I have not shifted my being of negative unless I really go there with the feeling of positive. And that's the thing that a lot of people talk about. Sometimes it works, because sometimes they're engaging the feel, sometimes they're not. Those who say it doesn't work are not engaging the feel at all, right? So they try and positive think it doesn't work, but see, it doesn't work. So all of you are absolutely right. The thing is, it's not positive thinking, it's positive feel. So unless we go to this heart centre of real love and feeling and wonder, then you're not going to get anywhere, okay? So we need to go there and feel it. Once you feel it, there's no skipping this step. Once you feel it, that's when you can start to positively think, because now we can reframe into a positive, because I have now changed my body state from negative, and I'm in my body state, in here, now feels positive. In here, in this body, it now feels positive, okay? So, if I feel great, if I feel fun, if I feel love, Now is the time, and only then can I go to reframing into the positive. So this model that I'm talking about is called the 4 hours release model. There's a fourth part to that, but I'll let you find the fourth part. They're all R's. So, you know, what you've got is R's. Again, I'm not going to say any more. If you've listened to me, you'll have heard the R's. And that is R. I'm Scottish, so I roll my R's, and sometimes people don't get it. But it's the 4 R's release model, okay? And that's a model that I teach, and it helps people to silence their inner critic, cut down limiting beliefs, and change your emotional state within the body from a negative to the positive. So if you feel that that might help you, I will put the link at the bottom. It is a free webinar, so it runs 24/7, but it's at the top of the hour, so you really have to schedule that in for yourself. But you'll see that when you go onto the page. So go in, register, go online, top of the hour for yourself, and you will actually be able to learn the model. You'll also learn things, you'll learn how positive thinking doesn't work. You'll also learn that we have 3 brains in our body and how we want to bring them back into the middle and make them work cohesively, right, together. And that is part of leading me, okay? So hopefully that's helped, because without you being able to go there, it can exhaust you because you're trying to be positive for other people when inside you is negative. Now, I'm going to add a couple of bits. There is another tool I have called the 3 Keys to Eliminate Your Shite, and this first part is really all feelings need to be acknowledged, guys. All feelings, negative or positive. Sometimes we're really trying to get too quickly to the positive state that we forget to acknowledge what we are going through, what's happening. And I mean that in a very negative way, right? And, you know, we need to get that out of our bodies. If we don't, it settles into the body and it causes us dis-ease. So I want you to be very, very aware of this. The person who asked for me to do this video, I would say the first step for me is that awareness package. Be aware that I have negative emotions within me. I need to get them out. How do you get them out? Various ways. If you've got a confidant who will just sit and listen and let you do that without trying to move you too quickly to a space of positivity, wonderful, right? So if you've got a coach, if you've got a mentor, if you've got someone who doesn't have skin in the game, relations, friends they're there to go, oh yeah, I know it must be really bad, right? You don't want anybody joining you in that pity party, but you do want to go there and you want to express fully how you feel, okay? That is really go there. So you can do that by speaking to someone. You can do it by imagining, you know, the person or the people that you see. So if it's the company that's making changes, this company group that you're throwing vitriol at, you can imagine them there. You can close your eyes and just go at them in a safe space, okay? And the other thing you can do is you can write this down. So you can write all your feelings out, get them out on paper. But the next part to that is I'd like you to then go to the 4 hours release model and actually get to that happy place next, then rephrase. Without the acknowledgement, it's going to exhaust you completely, okay? Another great thing is some meditation, some yoga, whatever floats your boat. And even if you haven't done meditation, go on and find some amazing guided meditations that you can do. Go on, try them. You get them on YouTube, SoundCloud, everywhere you look actually. You can get them all over. You get them Spotify. So just make sure that you are giving yourself that love that you need, because without that, no matter how positive you're going to try and be, I'll guarantee it will seep out at some point. So by you acknowledging that feel within you that's negative, that won't have to seep out anymore, because you get to acknowledge, which means it gets to dissipate. That is all feelings want, is acknowledgement. Okay, to be honest, we've been sold a dummy on that one as well. So don't rush too quickly to change into the positive if you've got things in there. That will exhaust you, okay? So a quickie from me to you would be, I remember way back when I was managing a whole section of people, and what was happening was there was big turmoil happening. There was changes of boundaries and changes of territory for the salespeople that I was looking after. It was really, really shite. So I had to manage these people and at the same time look after myself, okay? So I come first. And the reason that you come first is because you are leading these people. So you are showing the way, you're giving them an example. So I had to actually sit and acknowledge how I felt about the whole thing, right? And that one occasion that I'm thinking about, that was me actually writing it out. I actually didn't want to share this with others because it was confidential. And that's the thing you have to work out, is this really confidential, or have I got somebody that I can confidentially talk to? And at that point, I wrote this out. So I wrote out how I felt about the company, my bosses, everything that was there came out, and boy, did I go at that paper. Then I was sit and go, okay, so I've acknowledged how I feel about this, the negative, all the negative feelings, and I got it all down. I think there was several pieces of paper written on. Now I could sit back and go, okay, what do I recognise here as my negativity? And I would look at that and I'd go, okay, what are the main things that are running through my head negative wise? And there was, if I can remember, it was things like, shit, I can't believe they're doing this right now. Bastards. Excuse my language. So it was really written down to how I really felt. Then when I got that out, it was like, right, okay, so what are the themes that run through? How could they do this to us? This isn't good. They're mucking the whole team. So it was things like that. I'd take that, and then I went to the fun place. I don't think at that time I had the guys in the elevator. I can't remember what it was because it was quite a wee bit back, and it would have been before they were doing that. But after I'd done that, I could now rephrase into the positive about all the positive things that could happen for each individual. I'd look at each member of the team. Then I would look at the team itself, and then I'd look at all the positive aspects of what it could mean to them and to us. So by being able to reframe with nothing stuck inside, that's what made the difference. Okay. So hopefully you now understand positive thinking doesn't work, but positive feel turbocharges everything. So you have to change that negative feel into a positive feel before you can get to positive thinking. Okay. So yes, positive thinking does work, but not before positive feel. You've got to engage the feel first, that heart center part, before you can move into that positive thinking. So yes, they all work, but it's in what stage you need to use them that's the most important. Hopefully that's answered your question. Anyone get any other questions that they want to pop down below, ask away. Conversation, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of what I've said. Let me know what you think of, positive thinking in general. I really would love to hear your opinions and your thoughts on positive thinking, and also on leading me. So, as always, for me for now, stay true, stay you, and keep bringing out your brilliance. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.